Hey everyone, this is Alyssa, the chef at Roth Living in Salt Lake City, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the perfect simple roast chicken. Yes, simple roast chicken in your convection steam oven, okay? So I'm talking golden brown, crispy skin, while the meat stays moist and tender and delicious, perfectly cooked. I mean, even the white meat tastes good, which is saying something. So what I'm gonna do is we're actually starting the night before. We're going to prepare our chicken using a dry brine. I'm sure most of you, if you have ever, cooked a chicken or a turkey before, have used a brine. The brining process is meant to infuse flavor and keep the meat really tender and moist and flavorful. However, I hate brining things. It's a mess, and it's a nuisance. And it's a hassle. But I'm gonna change your life right now using this dry brine method, okay? All I'm going to use is salt and, for a little extra flavor, some lemon zest. We are using a coarse kosher salt as well as one very large lemon to give us approximately a tablespoon of zest. I am going to then cover the entire chicken with this mixture. And the key to this dry brine method is letting it sit in your sub-zero overnight and uncovered, okay? So by letting it sit uncovered in your fridge, and again, as long as you can, hopefully at least 12 to 36 hours, and that is going to help this salt to really infuse into the meat. Salt is actually the only seasoning and flavor that penetrates through the skin into the meat of whatever you're cooking. So that's why salt is really the only main ingredient that we're using here. Even pepper doesn't penetrate. This lemon zest, it's not really gonna get into the meat, but it's going to help season and give the outside of my chicken a beautiful aroma, which is why I'm using it, okay? I'm just combining that salt and lemon zest so it kind of becomes a beautiful lemony salt. And I am now going to take this mixture and cover my chicken in it, okay? This is a 4-pound bird. It can take a good amount of salt, and we are going to allow this, again, it's gonna sit overnight and that salt's gonna get all the way through. I'm using about a teaspoon of salt per pound of meat. That's usually a really good ratio if you're ever wondering how much salt your chicken really needs. And I'm just kind of patting it on, making sure that it's staying in place as much as I can. And notice that I've got it set on a rack in an old sheet pan. So this is just gonna help it stay elevated in the fridge to help keep the bird nice and dry so it's not sitting in all of its juices. So as this sits in the fridge, what's gonna happen is the salt is going to get into the meat, and that's going to help push water out of the meat. What that's going to do is concentrate that flavor. So you've got a really seasoned and more chickeny bird, okay? Since we did not cover it in the fridge, that's gonna help all of that moisture, that buildup on the outside, evaporate. So that when you pull this out tomorrow for dinner, all you have to do is take it, put it on the correct pan, or you could leave it just like this, and we will stick it in the convection steam oven, and I will show you how we turn this into the most beautiful dinner for your family or guests that you've ever seen. That simple, that easy. I will see you tomorrow when we can stick this guy in the oven. Hey everyone, welcome back. It is chicken cooking time. Look at this baby. We have waited 24 hours. You can see the skin has sort of tightened up and it has become beautifully aged in our refrigerator, dried out, which is exactly what you want to get a beautiful crispy skinned bird, okay? So all I've done now is I've removed the rack that it was sitting on, sitting directly in the pan now. I've cut 2 lemon halves that I've just set face down. That's gonna help to create a beautiful sauce. When we're all done, it's gonna be lemony and chickeny, a gorgeous glaze to pour over our chicken, and I've added a little bit extra salt. So now it's time to get this cooking in our Wolf convection steam oven, and I'm gonna show you how simple this is. Again, I have not added any butter or any oil. And for any of you who have ever tried to cook a roast chicken or a roast turkey, you typically have to use some sort of fat to help get an even golden brown tan. If you don't, you end up with a splotchy bird. However, when you have a magical convection steam oven, you don't even need any oil or butter, and it's gonna be perfect. So, bird's ready. First thing before we get this in the oven is we need to put the probe thermometer in the correct location. This little baby is the key to ensuring that you get perfectly cooked white meat. No dry, no flavorless, no chalky white meat here. So I take the long pointy end, and I actually like to stick this into the breast meat. Let's be honest, this is not gonna fit into that thigh. I don't want it to hit any bones. I want it to be all in the flesh and completely covered. So what I like to do is up at the top of the breast, I insert, and you can see I go in at an angle. This gets the point down to the middle of the breast, and I don't touch any bone. That is the perfect placement for my probe. That's all I gotta do. Now I'm gonna take this sheet pan, and it fits beautifully in between the racks. And then I'm gonna put the probe into the oven. So they're connected, close it up, and this is a unpreheated oven, okay? So from there, we're gonna turn the oven on, quick start. At the home screen, I am going to select the Convection Steam mode. Hit enter there, and then you get that screen that tells you which rack position you can use with a check mark. Hit enter again. Now we're here, we're ready to start cooking. I want to set the temperature, because when I cook a chicken, again, I'm going for golden brown skin. What we need for that is high heat. So I'm gonna turn the temperature up to 400 degrees. And then, this is the important part, I'm gonna use the arrows to go one space this way, hit enter, and that is going to set my food probe temp. Right there, that's where I wanna set the internal temperature of the meat to 165 degrees. That means when this bird reaches 165 degrees, it is going to ding, you're gonna pull that out, and as it rests on your counter for 15 minutes, the carryover cook time is going to help that white meat reach 170 degrees, which is the recommended temperature from the FDA. So everything is set, the oven is now starting, and this will take only about 45 minutes to get a perfectly cooked chicken. When this is done, I'm gonna pull it out and show you guys the final product of what you can expect in your own home for that gorgeous cooked roast chicken. Hey you guys, welcome back. As you can see, this is the final product. I just pulled this out of the oven. The skin is still crispy, and as you can see, perfectly golden brown. We've also got a little golden lighting coming in right now. But this we're gonna let sit for 15 minutes, then we're gonna slice into it. Dinner is gonna be served. Perfectly roasted, simple chicken in the Wolf Convection Steam Oven.